Greetings. Welcome to the Cheating Tale Workshop. If you're new, consider hitting the subscribe button and share your location in the comments below. I never imagined I'd be the one telling this story. Don't we all assume such incidents happen to others? Well, here I am. My identity isn't crucial, but what transpired with me could potentially rescue your marriage or even your life. I assure you, I'm not overdramatizing. I was married to Vivian for 8 years. A captivating name, wasn't it? She was as beautiful as the name suggested. That's what everyone said. That's what I believed for a long time. Our life appeared perfect from the outside. A cozy suburban home, 2 cars, thriving careers. Vivian was a marketing executive, and I was an IT consultant. We were that envied couple, but there were subtle warnings, weren't there? The signs began subtly. Vivian would receive phone calls and step out to take them. Initially, she explained work matters as private client meetings, which seemed plausible. However, her increasing late hours and unexpected weekend conferences began to raise suspicions. I had unwavering trust in her, perhaps excessively so. The first red flag was when I observed she'd altered her phone password. Previously, we shared everything openly. Inquiring about it led to a defensive response, with her accusing me of being paranoid and invading privacy. This made me question myself for asking such questions. It was then that I started noticing subtle indicators. Her secretive smiles at her phone, her claims of listening to podcasts in the shower, her hidden purchases stashed in the back of her closet. Yet, I chose to disbelieve these signs. One never wishes to doubt a loved one. The tipping point occurred on a Tuesday in March. Returned home prematurely from a canceled client meeting and overheard my partner on the phone upstairs. Our house has thin walls, so eavesdropping unintentionally occurred. Her laughter was unfamiliar, an intimacy I hadn't heard before. She uttered something that sent a shiver down my spine. "Don't worry, baby, it won't be much longer. I've got everything worked out." That night, I struggled to sleep, plagued by thoughts about those words. What did she have planned? What was the time frame? To quell my mounting concerns, I installed a voice recording app on her phone while she was in the shower, using the password I had observed her type earlier when she believed I wasn't looking. I felt nauseous doing it, but needed answers. So for 3 weeks, I listened to normal work calls, conversations with her sister, and dentist appointments. I almost erased the app, attributing my suspicions to paranoia. On a Saturday morning, I overheard a conversation that drastically altered my life. She told me she had errands to run, but instead, I heard her in the car speaking with someone named Marcus, a name she had never before mentioned. What followed left me shivering even now. It wasn't just an affair. She was plotting a divorce, not as I had imagined. She was manufacturing evidence of domestic violence by inflicting bruises on herself and documenting them, as well as creating false police reports detailing incidents that never occurred. The most nauseating part was her plan to accuse me of emotional and financial abuse. I discovered she had been covertly transferring money from our joint accounts into an unbeknownst account of mine. For months, my wife and her attorney, Marcus, who was also her boyfriend, had been conspiring to take everything in our divorce and possibly have me falsely accused of abuse. As I sat in my car parked outside the grocery store overhearing their plot to ruin my life, I realized I didn't truly know the woman I shared a bed with for 8 years, as she had meticulously planned to destroy me. The most disheartening part was hearing her laugh when Marcus inquired about any remorse. She said, "He's too foolish to see it coming. By the end of this, he'll be lucky if he can afford a studio apartment." I saved every recording. 2 days later, Vivian sat me down for our separation discussion, claiming she was unhappy and suggesting we part ways. Her convincing tears might have made me believe she was just a woman who had lost affection, but with the recordings, I knew the truth. 14 days later, I received divorce papers detailing accusations of emotional abuse, financial manipulation, and intimidating behavior. She demanded alimony, half our assets, and a restraining order. My lawyer examined the documents, shaking his head, predicting an expensive and complicated process. He explained that such cases often hinge on he said, she said, and courts typically favor the woman. It was then I disclosed my recordings to him, causing a noticeable change in his expression, as if I had produced a crucial piece of evidence. On a muggy Thursday in June, we appeared in court. Vivian arrived with Marcus, a tall man in an expensive suit who seemed unfazed by the situation. He exuded confidence, likely assuming this would be a simple victory. Vivian delivered a compelling testimony about years of psychological torment. She wept in opportune instances, recounted her fears, her feelings of captivity and solitude. She was exceptional, truly exceptional. Her attorney Marcus displayed bank statements indicating my financial control, photos of bruises on her arms, a chronology of events that portrayed me as a beast. The judge listened attentively, jotting down notes. My heart sank. Despite knowing the truth, Vivian's performance was so convincing that I almost doubted myself. Then it was my chance. My attorney rose and stated, "Your Honor, we aim to present proof indicating the plaintiff's testimony is not only untrue but a part of an intricate deception." Marcus objected promptly, claiming we were reaching for irrelevant points, yet the judge permitted it. My lawyer initiated the first recording. It was Vivian conversing with Marcus about transferring funds from our accounts. The specific dates and amounts were audible. Marcus paled yet remained composed as everything contradicting my financial control testimony surfaced. My attorney then played a second tape, where Vivian joked about my foolishness and her plans to take all assets. But it was the third recording that shattered the room's calm. In it, Vivian discussed self-inflicted bruises with Marcus, mentioned researching domestic violence shelters to bolster her story, and even rehearsing tears in front of mirrors. The courtroom fell silent, save for my wife's voice plotting my downfall echoing through the speakers. Upon finishing, Marcus declared his immediate withdrawal from the case and left the courtroom. Without glancing behind, the judge announced a break. Upon resuming, Vivian sat solitary at her table, without a lawyer, giving an appearance of having encountered a spirit. The judge inquired if she desired to alter her testimony, granting her one opportunity to speak the truth. Vivian remained seated, gazing at the judge. In the end, she gained nothing. No alimony, no settlement, not even reimbursement for legal fees. The judge was so appalled by the information presented that she instructed Vivian to pay my legal expenses. There were rumors of perjury charges, though they never surfaced. I later learned that Marcus was prohibited from practicing law for 6 months due to his involvement in the scheme. It seemed this wasn't his first offense, as he had previously aided a client in falsifying evidence. The divorce became official 3 months later. I retained the house, the vehicles, all possessions. Living with my sister in another state. I haven't seen Vivian since then, but there's something that continues to trouble me. Had I not discovered what I did at the right moment, had I not recorded those conversations, she would have emerged victorious. I would have lost everything and possibly faced charges for abuse I hadn't committed. How many other men have gone through similar experiences? How many didn't possess the evidence to prove their innocence? My purpose in recounting this tale isn't soliciting sympathy. Instead, I share it because I gleaned an essential lesson. The person beside you could be your most dangerous adversary, and often, you don't realize it until it's almost too late. Trust your intuition. If something feels amiss, it likely is. If this tale strikes a chord with you, please click subscribe and pass it on to someone who might benefit from hearing it. Express your thoughts in the comments section. Your support means everything to creators like me, who are simply trying to disseminate real stories about actual people. Thanks for tuning in.